Okay, still loving the bike. Just washed it and made another upgrade. I made a couple of changes to make the bike better for me. Got a cup holder. My Specialized Crave had these great gel grips that just feel really great to me. So that's definitely a big upgrade for me. Or those from the Specialized site. I'm a relatively weak rider. Like I get passed a lot more often than I pass people, especially going up the hills. So the 32 teeth gear I replaced with this 30 tooth gear. Costs like 16 bucks from Amazon. And I know it's less than a 10% difference, but it feels huge. Like it feels like I have a whole lower gear than I had before. A couple things about tuning the bike. Like I was saying, the bike didn't come perfectly tuned, mostly in the derailleur. So right here is a little adjuster. If you crank that out like that, that'll cause this guy to go a little bit farther, and by turning that a few turns I was able to get it to stay in the lowest gear. This little doohickey right here controls how close this guy comes to that guy. So it was too far out, and that was causing a problem where when I did a shift from one of these smaller gears into one of the bigger ones, which technically is downshifting, I think, the derailleur would move and the chain would just go and stay on the previous ring. So that was a problem that was solved just when the Pro turned that thing. Another problem was the chain had a tendency to get stuck right in here between the smallest gear and carbon fiber frame. I can kind of feel a little ding there, but that's really bad. You don't want the chain tearing up your carbon fiber frame. And that just took a few turns of one of those guys down here. I think it was this guy here on the right. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, so there's two little screws here that determine just how close and how far that thing can go to the bike. So another thing he did was there's this cable here. Somewhere, I'm half blind, so I'm feeling for it. But where's that cable? There it is. See this little cable there? This thing came with just too much play in it. There's a little screw there. You loosen, pull the cable through, and tighten it down. And he did that with the so that this thing could be all the way tightened in, and then I only had to turn it like 2 or 3 turns out to get it adjusted perfectly. So the bike works great now. I feel like there are a couple other minor things I did to it, but the main thing was that 30 tooth chain ring. It comes with a 32 by default. So if you're an older cyclist like me, you may want to consider that $16 front ring. That's all I've got. Everything seems to be working great. Oh, one other thing, how this cable is routed. The front brake goes to this thing, which is already on the front fork by the time you get your bike, and it goes on the inside back around. I didn't get that right when I first started that. I also made a mistake with this little head thing. I think I've got it right now. So it comes with these 3 spacers, and when you take this fork off, all that is going to fall on the ground. But you have to take the fork off, I think. Can't quite remember. Oh no, it fell. So I had it up in the stand, and never having done this before, I just loosened this thing and like the whole fork fell. So I put it back in there. I think I have all the pieces in the right order now. Just remember, it's this. First, what you do is you put this handlebar doohickey thing on top of the spacers, put the little plastic screw cap and screw down, tighten it, not real tight, but tight enough so that the fork doesn't have any play. but not where you're like breaking that plastic cap. And then you just turn this screw and the one there to really make this handlebar doohickey clamp down on it, and that secures the fork. So I think that was all the trouble I had putting the bike together. Enjoy your ride.